Alright, gonna do something a little different here. This is something we've done for family members and friends over the years, and we always give them away as gifts, so that's why I don't have one to show you. If you go to Michael's, the craft store, you can get these Christmas bulbs. Okay, they're quite inexpensive. I think you can get a 6-pack for about $3 or $4. And all they are is a really thin glass, and they've got a flat end on one side and a regular round end on the rest of the ball. Hey, just an old-fashioned kind of Christmas ball that's see-through. Now, these are really great for fly tires. First of all, the lid just comes out, and you can see it's just a traditional Christmas ball lid. Got 2 clasps, and then the metal top, and then of course an opening. Now, a friend of mine showed me this years ago, and like I said, we've made many for gifts over the years. I'm going to show you how to make one now, since I think it's December 4th today. It's the season, and you know, they do really look sharp on a Christmas tree. They're great as gifts because people know you put time into them. In fact, my son now, he's going to be making some of these this year for friends and relatives too. All you need to do is tie the fly, and we're going to put it in, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay. So now, tying the fly, of course, is going to be totally up to you. You're not going to tie it like a fly you would fish, because you know it's not going to be fished, obviously. So it's one thing with the Christmas ball. You don't want, well, here's an intruder I tied this morning. You're obviously not going to put that fly into this bulb unless you just want it all smashed up, and it'll just be a bunch of feathers. Even with this red intruder I tied this morning, the fibers are just way too long. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, go with an inexpensive tube. You're not going to use a metal tube or a tungsten tube or a Schumacher tube or anything like that. You're going to use plastic. Okay. I'm going to use flex tube just because it's inexpensive and we've got mountains of it at the shop here. Okay. I'm going to make a quick step tube. Just slid the Scandinavian liner into the flex tube. I'm going to bend the flex tube so it's a little bit straight. It's tough. This stuff comes in for us on rolls, so there's always a little bit of a bend. I know you can shock it in water and make it straight, but again, we're not fishing this fly. It's going into a gift that's going to be in an enclosed case for years and years, so not a big deal. Okay, we'll cut maybe not even 1/4 of an inch in the front, and now just measure it up against your bulb. So, I mean, when we drop it in there, it won't even come close to touching the bottom, and that's what we want. So I would say no more than total length of just over an inch. Alright, other than that, you're going to tie pretty much like you normally would. One type of tube that's really easy and looks great in these Christmas balls is just a marabou tube. Okay? Marabou comes in so many fantastic colors. You can of course tweak it up. Jungle cock is a must on these flies, because otherwise, if a novice or somebody that doesn't even know what fly tying is sees one of these on a tree, and there's not jungle cock on it, a lot of people will not recognize it as a fly, for whatever reason, just because of the traditional aspect of fly tying. The jungle cock gives it the look of a fly, even for people that have nothing to do with fly fishing. Alright, slip it on my tapered pin. Just get this in focus a little better. Alright. Now, like I said, marabou flies are the best for especially your first couple of Christmas decorations. I mean, I don't know if you're going to get into production mode on these, but even if you're making a couple, when they get into the actual ball, they look really sharp because the marabou kind of fills up the ball. Instead of just having a little individual, slim-bodied fly, this one kind of fills up the entire ball, which is nice. Alright. So I'm going to go in just with a little bit of flash to start with. Why don't we make this a Christmas fly? Reds and greens and things like that. Okay, start with some red flash. And again, we don't want anything too long. Okay, if you go too long like some of our flies, it's just going to be bunched up in the ball, and it'll be compressed and look kind of silly. Alright, I'm going to start, well, not greens I guess, but a chartreuse. Okay, start with a chartreuse, marabou, and we'll wrap it in. And you know what? Forget the Christmas colors. We're going to go with blues and oranges. Honestly, because that's just what I have beside the bench right now. Okay, going to alternate with a blue here. Silver Doctor blue. And you know what? Nobody can ever go wrong with a marabou or an Alaska blue style fly. They're just so easy to tie. It's just a matter of layering, just like some of our other videos here, like the popsicle. It's just a matter of layering colors. And even though this is going on a Christmas ball, you know, it's still one of the most effective salmon flies out there. And steelhead. Okay, just going to wrap it forward. Just a little moisture, get all the fibers down. When I say moisture, I know you can't see me on the camera, but I'm licking my fingers. And it sounds gross, but that's how it's done on this shop anyway. Alright, here we're going to go with purple now. This is now one of our flies that we put together years ago, or color combinations of a marabou fly anyway. It's called a peacockaboo. You'll see why in a second. So you got chartreuse, silver Doctor blue, and then purple marabou. You know what, I'll go one more purple marabou. Okay. Again, I'll just moisten it so everything falls back. Alright, you can see we just got a regular marabou style fly. Reason it's called a peacockaboo is because we include a little bit of peacock. Okay, so we're just going to add a collar of two different types of peacock. We've got the peacock body feather. Tough to see the package there, but this is more the kind of the darker green, bigger feathers. And then we're going to add some peacock neck feathers, which is kind of the really true blue but smaller feathers. Okay, so this is the peacock body. You can see it's got a little bit of the peacock hue. Take away all the fluff. And tie it in by the tip. And just like the marabou, will pull everything back. Okay, now we're going to go in with the neck feathers, which are small but way more blue. And you can see they've got the really iridescent blue kind of colors that are, well, you think of when you think of peacock. And you know what, of all the synthetic tying materials I've ever seen, nothing compares to this stuff as far as the color it gives off. This I know this is going into a Christmas ball, but this is actually one of my favorite Chinook salmon patterns on the Skeena system, especially in Kitimat. I use this fly all the time. Okay, so there's one neck feather. And I'm going to put one more on, I think. Just remember, this is going into the Christmas ball, so. So again, just going to trim all the fuzz. Tip first. Pull everything back. That should be the motto for all marabou flies. I probably said it 10 times in this video. Pull everything back. Alright. Gonna add just a touch of flash. Maybe a little extra than I normally would for a fishing fly, because this is going on a Christmas tree. Okay, I'll probably put some more on the other side too. And guess what I'm going to say now? Pull everything back. Moisten it up just so you can see what it's going to look like. I love these marabou flies because all the colors just kind of blend in together. Alright, now last thing I'm going to do on this fly, like I said, it's going into the Christmas ball, so I want to put jungle cock on it. And this is the only time I've ever just said this in all of my fly tying, is this is where jungle cock really matters most. Like I said, it's going to have novices knowing immediately that it's a fishing fly, because most people that aren't in the fly fishing world associate jungle cock with salmon fishing. I don't know why, but I think it's just the traditional look of flies, right? Okay, so 2 jungle cock eyes. I would never put a jungle cock on a fly, on a marabou fly I was going to fish. Total waste of money. But like I said, this is for a gift. We'll see. If it looks good, it's for a gift. If it's not so hot, it'll go on my own tree. Alright. Okay, so you can see the jungle cock looks a little ridiculous on this fly, but it's important. Make a nice head. Finish it off. I'm not going to bother whip finishing because this fly isn't going to be whipped through the air, is it? Okay, take it off, burn the end. Again, nothing fancy because it's not going to be thrown all over the place. I'm just going to varnish this fly. And this is a fly you want a high varnish on too. Like I said, it's going to be, well, it might be a conversation piece on a tree. We'll see. Alright, I'm just going to show you how we do this. Get the fly inside the ball securely. We're going to take a tube fly hook. It's just an egret size 2. And we're going to take this wire. This is just, happens to be burgundy, but it's just wire that I stole from my wife's craft room. It's just beading wire. You could use fishing line too, I guess. Wire just kind of stays a little more straight, obviously. Just going to eye the wires through the hook. I'm just going to twist a few times. Remember, we're not fishing this. This is all for show, and also just so that when it gets packed away after Christmas, and presumably the person you gave it to likes the gift, it'll store in the Christmas bins or under the stairs or wherever all decorations go for the rest of the year. Okay, so I've just twisted the wire through. Got a long wire now. Okay. Now, just like fishing, I'm going to thread this through my tube. This is being cranky. You know what? I did this a silly way. Let's go the other way. Through the tube. Get the bare wire. Let's thread it out the back end. So we'll get the hook. We'll twist. And for this, I'm not going to stick it in the back of the junction tube or the back of the flex tube. I'm just going to let it swing free. Again, so novices can look and they see the hook. If they really don't know what it is, they might see the hook and then hopefully have a clue. Alright. Alright, have that all ready to go. Got the Christmas ball. Just going to gently pull this out. Remember, this is glass, not plastic. So I've got my 2 clips there. Now what I'm going to do is just trim in on that wire. And these certain Christmas ornaments I've got, it's got 2 holes in the top for the wire to come through. And all I'm going to do is feed my wire through the inside so it comes out. Now for now, I'm just going to wrap it around the loop here one time just to loosely secure it in place, because we have to get all the fibers into the ball first. Okay, so got the head, the fly. Now the fun part begins. We get the fly into the little hole. Start with the hook, and then marabou flies are nice because they all go down. If you get them down far enough, you might have to kind of wiggle it. Okay, and there we go. Now it's in. We'll put the lid on just by clasping those 2 clips in. You can see the fly sitting way too low, but I've just got it loosely attached here. I'll unattach it. That's why I like using wire. When you use the fishing line, it just gets really cranky. Fly tires out there, you have to remember, this has nothing to do with fishing. Okay, so I'm going to pull the wire up, and I'm actually going to turn this until I'm happy with the position. Okay, and the wire too also lets you find the position you want. And if you leave some wire up top, I've just wrapped it around the stem. If you leave some wire up top, you can always adjust it. But now you can see you've got the flat part of the ball, and that's how it's going to hang on the Christmas tree. Now you can definitely see the color in it. If you're really curious, you can see the hook. Okay. And of course your fly tying buddies are going to be doing this. They're going to be looking at the whole thing. So that's why I threw the hook in, even though you don't need to. And you've got the nice color of the marabou. You got the jungle cock, so everybody knows it's a fishing fly. Same side, both sides. I don't know why one side's flat. Totally round would be nice too. If you don't like the way it's sitting in there, you can always just move it around. Again, gently, until you're more happy with the position. Okay, and it's kind of yours to play with, or whoever you're giving it to. Now, tubes work excellent with this because you can throw it in any position you want because it's on a tube. One word of caution is, I don't have a cat, but I've heard cats hate these or love them, one of the two, and they'll go after it pretty wildly, so put them high up on your tree. Here's another one I did. Oops. This is one with a hook pattern. And I didn't use a wire on this. I actually attached the fly right to the wire that comes down. And you can see the hooks look okay, but definitely the tube flies with the marabou. The marabou just, it'll make, even the woman of the house, if she's not a fly tyer, especially if you're giving it as a gift, you get the color there. It still looks like a great Christmas ball. If you're just doing a hook version, this is kind of a spay fly, yeah, the fly tyers will enjoy it, but it doesn't really look appealing as just a Christmas ornament. This kind of gives you both looks. That's it. Quick Christmas gift. Again, the balls you can get at, I got these at Michael's for very, very cheap. 6-pack for just a few dollars. And then your fly is a cheap plastic tube with whatever pattern you want to make. Marabou works great. And